Welcome to the new and improved.
What?
New and improved what?
I'm going to start again. Welcome to the new and improved, virtually redundant, season 2.
Which episode?
No, we're too hip now for episodes, you know.
Okay,
We're too cool.
Sounds good.
Yeah. We're The Walking Dead season 2, you know? We're on a farm.
Yeah.
We're all stuck on a farm, not able to do anything.
Yeah, we're going to farm the one topic over 20 episodes. It's going to be great.
Oh, do you remember, did you ever watch How I Met Your Mother, where the last season takes place over 2 days? And I don't mind if a TV show does that, but it has to do it, smart. If you do it, the season 24, and it's it takes place over 24 hours. Okay, I'm okay with that. But not, the last season of fucking How I Met Your Mother, which just was painful.
And I know the answer to this. So, Darren, did you watch 24?
No.
Exactly. I was like, 24 did it well. I was like, but Darren, I know he didn't watch it.
No. But I know I didn't watch it, but people like 24. They did more than one season. It didn't get cancelled. It must have been good.
How I Met Your Mother season last season, I think. Yeah, so, Darren, there you go. No, shut your face.
I don't think there's a single soul on this planet who liked season 7.
Look, I'm sure there is. There's probably someone who likes, the modern DC universe movies. There'll be people out there who like things.
The DC one is
Yeah.
They're redoing it. Isn't that rebooting again?
No,
but without Henry Cavill and
but this is what people do now, isn't it? With multiverse, even when you reboot it, it doesn't have to be a hard reboot anymore. Everything can be a soft reboot now. It's it's technically a different universe, a different timeline, but we can.
Oh yeah,
we can have the old Batmans back when we want them, if we want, or yeah.
No, only do that if it actually makes sense. Don't just be like, oh no, that was universe 278. This is universe 301. Haha, and you're like, oh no, you're just being lazy. Just admit you fucked up and do a hard reboot.
Yeah, it's like, Batman died, don't care. There's another 20 Batmans coming. I know, who gives a shit anymore?
I know. Yeah, you lose the value.
Yeah, I find, I don't know, since we're on the topic, I know this is an intro, so it's already going off the rails, but you were talking previously about, when writers just don't want to admit maybe when they've lost the plot of it, or you gave an example of a TV show, I think called Riverdale. You say it just went completely off the deep end.
It's the kind of, they keep trying to one up the and then the crazy shit factor. You know the way, it's like, do you ever watch a TV show where something crazy happens in season 1 and then they just keep going more and more and more and it keeps getting more and more crazy, and you're like surely, it's like watching a soap opera, and you're like, surely the government would nuke the town and be like, a lot of bad shit is happening in this town. We're just gonna nuke it.
I know the feeling. It's like EastEnders. If someone actually lived there, they're just quoting it off and bomb it. You know what I mean? It's just get rid of it. You know what I mean? Just clearly, if you go there, you're going to get murdered or you're going to get cheated on or something. Let's just kill that town.
So that was the plot of District 13. If any of you have ever seen it, was that they started walling off districts in France and then they were just going to blow them up.
Yeah, but this one, but that was a wrong move. This one is the right move. EastEnders, you have to. Yeah, so there you go, listeners. EastEnders, if you're looking to for a writer to end EastEnders, contact us, please.
Yeah, I mean, did it just end with them trying to defuse an atomic bomb or something? It ends.
Yeah,
Ricky.
She shouts Ricky, and he just cuts the wrong wire, and that's how it ends. It's just a mush. Do you know the EastEnders star? It does that in reverse, but you just see a mushroom cloud. It's like, dude.
Oh my god.
Well, on that, have you watched any cancelled TV shows this week, Darren? Anything fun or interest?
Did I? I don't know. I've just been watching more Grey's Anatomy. I think that's my life now.
Oh my god!
But Daniel, you said Invincible's back. Is
Invincible season 2 is back for all our listeners. It's 2 episodes have been released so far. First, it's actually really good. It's really good. I'm enjoying it. Also, Rick and Morty is back for season 7.
Oh yeah, new voice actors. You said.
Yeah, they're good. You don't notice the difference after a few minutes. You forget about the kind of differences.
You don't.
Some episodes are really shit.
Yeah, but then again, I feel like the previous seasons they did like some episodes were just shit. You know, like just really shitty episodes.
Oh, it's a hit and miss. It's like South Park. It's really literally is a 50-50 chance it's either good or crap.
Did they try and write their way out of it to explain the change in the voices, or are they just subbing them in and rolling with it?
Just
I've not. Okay. I've not watched it yet, so that's why I was asking.
The Roland with it.
It's good. No,
Fun if you get it.
2 episodes ago was just really, really messed up, like the spaghetti one. But the last one, the one that released just yesterday, the episode 7 or something like that, that's actually really good. Like it progresses the story with like Prime Rick and all that type of stuff, and even more Ian on.
Oh.
On that
note,
we'll be right back.
Oh my god! On that, see, new and improved on that.
Yeah, we'll be back with Universe B.
Season 2, now with more notes. Now with more on notes.
Yeah. So, how do you like them there game engines?
Yeah, pretty snazzy. Pretty fucking snazzy.
Ah, I remember back in the day when you could make a frame in Visual Basic, and someone had asked you to make a game in that as a project. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah,
those are the days.
Putting in an image and just moving the image back and forth. Oh man, they were fun. I remember the X and A. That was the big. That was awesome. I miss X and A. I know it's still going with like mono X and A, and I know there's like continuations of it, but X and A was cool. And for those who don't know, it's like a gaming framework for developing for on Xbox 360 and PC, and it's where a lot of the Xbox Live Arcade games come from, and a lot of indie developers.
Which, to be fair, was the first real shot that tiny little independent studios had at the console markets to begin with, was the X and A.
Yeah, now it's all gone.
Well, a little bit. I suppose maybe we're going to have a little bit of a rebirth, I suppose, because we had Unity building up, and then or I would say the Epic engine, of course, the Unreal engine, but who fucking knows anymore, it just feels like those have been so bloated, and then out of that, there's come an open source engine that we can argue about the name of it, called Godot. Waiting for Godot? I don't know.
Gal Gadot, Wonder Woman. Is that what we're talking about? Is that what we're talking about now? Gal Gadot? She's usually the gaming engine.
Probably not. I doubt it'd be open source then. But
I think it's pronounced like Godot or Godot.
Godot. Okay, yeah.
Godot.
But that seems to be the new thing in the block. I've downloaded it myself, had a look at it, wow, this is cool. And then I was like, I haven't got a fucking clue what I'm doing.
I want to expand on what Conor just said. How many of us have ADHD? so seriously, like, how many times have we fucking picked up a new engine, a new project, we tried to make an app, tried to make a website? I don't know how many fucking, like, I think I have more dead projects than I have actual projects that I've worked on in my career that are just like, here's my dead project graveyard. I feel like an old wise man with someone coming along like my repo, like my GitHub account, and he'd be like, "What is this graveyard?" It's like, "Who is all my lost hope?"
Yeah, you're worse than EA at this stage.
I've cancelled more games than EA.
I suppose. Yeah, well, I suppose you've Game Maker, the visual novel builder, probably RPG Maker, Unreal. Source,
Unity.
What else? What other engines are out there that you've tried?
I've failed more game engines than you will ever develop on. I am the wise man.
Yeah, just the CryEngine we tried on. I remember when that became available.
Oh, I remember
Unreal
that.
3, Unreal 4, Unreal 5, Unity. There's also
I did ActionScript.
Game Maker, ActionScript.
I did like Flash. Yeah.
I also did this bit of not game engine more, but like more SDK was Game Boy SDK. I remember making a breakout type game in it. Just gave up after.
Remember Pixel.js, WebJS, Pixel.js, all those kind of yeah. We did all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So, do we have ADHD? What's Conor? What's wrong with us? Please tell us.
It's like that time you tried to get me into World of Warcraft, isn't it?
Yeah, I remember that. But to be fair, World of Warcraft, we played quite a bit. Like I got to level 80 when Cataclysm came out. I got to level 85, and we were doing PvP and stuff. So I reached the end of that, and then I think Mr. Pandaria all came out afterwards, and it was just kind of nah.
I don't want to be pandas. Pandas are for babies. I want my dragons, not my fucking pandas.
I think we've just answered that question. The fact that we didn't even answer our own question there, we immediately pivoted to something else.
I was actually thinking of something today. I wanted to ask you. Do you know why did they call them fish fingers?
Because they look like blocks of fingers.
They're not like
like
blocks of fingers, is it? No, it's just my daughter asked me, and I was like, I actually don't know.
Yeah, we definitely have ADHD.
Do you think we ever could complete a game project that we start, or do you think we're just destined to, constantly make unfinished, unreleased games and tech demos?
We can, but it has to be like scope. Like our problem is scope in it. We always go. It starts off with Excel spreadsheet and it turns into EVE Online within a day of just planning. So we need to scope the shit out of it. Literally, just this is the scope.
Yeah. It's funny for a group of people who give out about Peter Molyneux's scope creep, and we're like 10 times worse than him. Like, imagine if we were in charge of a game studio.
Oh yeah, I mean, if EA come along and give us money, EA are fucked. Like we've like Star Citizens have nothing on us for fucking in terms of scope creep. I mean, we'll be 30 years down the line still developing our like Pong based game. Like why is it taking so long?
Well, yeah, we need two planets to collide off each other, and then you see Pong.
Look, if EA comes to us and says, "Here's money to make a game," you best bet that one. My first thing is going to say, "You can do anything." And when people say, "Oh, can you do this?" I'm just going to say yes to everything, and it's going to be nothing. It's literally going to be Pong when it gets released. It's going to be shite, but I'll have money. That's the thing.
Instead of like No Man's Sky, it'll be just No Man's Game, and it's not a game. It's just Daniel eating cereal, staring at like the screen for like 2 hours.
Well, I can see it now. You should launch a game. It'll be called Game Development Studio, and when people click play, it just opens up a Git repo of unfinished projects.
I think I know the game, right? The game is basically, it's like, oh, this is an amazing game. You launch the game, right? And it's like, oh yeah, like I need you to help. Like, it's a voiceover. It's like, I need you to help me. I need you to program some animation, and then they can help program our game. Like, and every quest is just a feature we want in the game. It's like, oh, I can't seem to be able to jump. Can you program the jumping physics for me? And they're like, oh, this game is great. It's teaching me how to program. And we're just there sitting on the other end in the server side, just getting all the code.
That's why when I say you can do anything, you open and just downloads Unreal Engine and just opens that up. And you're like, oh.
Might take you a few years, but you could do anything.
That's why I hate game engines, because when you go to or game engines or rendering software, like Blender and stuff is like, look at Blender and it's like a bunny rabbit in 3D and it looks like fucking Shrek and oh my god, and then you download it and you can't even make a circle and you're like, but I have to make a sphere and I was like, I don't know how to make a circle.
No, not even that. It's like I can't fucking look at the circle. It's like you have to hold the Z key while you pan. And you're just like, oh no, fuck this shit. I'm 6 months from the circle, looking at like using up 12 gigs of RAM because I've zoomed through too far. I was like, oh no, fuck this shit. Uninstall.
You'd be like rendering teeth in your city simulator, like City Skylines.
Yeah, rendering teeth and they can't even see it, and you're like, good job, everyone. Back.
I don't get optimization now. I think game engines are just fucking like, they're getting more and more powerful, but I think that's just because that just means that they use more RAM to do the same thing. It's just like our game engine's so powerful. It's like, it took you 5 gigs to render, your ray tracing instead of 2 gigs that I used to.
That's like any software now is like, oh wow, it's really this. What's your memory management? You're like, memory management? Like, I know, right?
Yeah, these days it's all about ridiculous resource. I remember when Guild Wars said in Guild Wars 2 you can jump, and that was like, oh, innovation, you can jump, maze, and everyone was super happy. Whereas these days, everyone's just grumpy about everything. Like, bring back the magic. I say.
Yeah, bring back I agree as well. When it was like the biggest features was real-time weapon changing. Yeah,
I remember when Half-Life got physics and stuff like that was even Oblivion physics, when you've seen that for the first time, like the 3,000 watermelons rolling down a hill. Like that was pretty cool. Are you guys doing the paintbrush trick? I think to climb a tower.
Yeah, I did the paintbrush trick. That was cool. I love that.
Oh yeah, I did the
Just like,
paper trick. That was a good trick. Yeah,
for those who
definitely,
don't know,
definitely. Your
paintbrush was
users.
just
Yeah,
it's just hanging a paper in midair, and it just stood there, and you could jump on it, so you could just make a big ladder to the sky, and all was cool.
Yeah, those are the days.
Yeah, everything stinks now.
it does. Oh man, it does. I mean, I don't know. I don't like. There's always like the hidden gem that always comes out every so often. Like I hear Baldur's Gate 3 is like a lot of fun. I could not get into Starfield. I tried. I fucking tried like my hardest. I just gave up after a while. It just felt like wooden and light. It just felt a bit light.
Yeah.
On the actual
do you know what it is? A lot of the systems are actually really good. So the minute gunplay, they have actually tweaked that quite good. But I think I've seen someone explained it from a design perspective in terms of how open world games are usually designed, and it's usually you take where the player lands, and within a radius of 30 seconds, the player should be able to come on something interesting, probably to stave off that ADHD that we've been talking about. Whereas they were saying that rule is completely absent from Starfield. You could be going for 5 minutes in one direction, which, you know, when you've no vehicles or nothing to kind of break up the minute-to-minute gameplay, like, even think back to Mass Effect 1, even those really empty planets, the Mako, a lot of people give out about it, but it served a purpose because it felt like you weren't just running across the surface. It felt like you're exploring in a vehicle, like a moon rover.
Yeah.
Starfield doesn't have that. You're just running around with a jetpack, you know?
Yeah. I could not get into it, and I really was desperate to, because, you know, I do love Skyrim, I do love Oblivion, I love Morrowind. And Starfield just felt like it just wasn't quite right. It felt something just feels off about it. I can't explain it. It feels. This film sound insane, right? Absolutely insane, but it feels like a game, and I don't want it to feel like a game. I want to feel like a world.
No, I know what you mean. Like, and again, for our younger listeners, if there are any, you know, when you dropped into Morrowind, you know, the first thing is like, "What do you want, Outlander?" You know, it's like, the environment.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas, I think Starfield's problem is it just feels a bit too passive, maybe. Would that be a right way to say it?
Yeah, it just feels like I'm playing a game where it's like, oh, there's a side quest over here. Do you want to do this side quest, or do you want to do this side quest? Or would you like to like you're deliberately thinking about the fact that you're in a game, thinking about which side quest or main quest. Whereas Oblivion and stuff like that, you could be walking on the street and someone runs up to you and, you know, starts chatting to you a lot, and you could be walking along and you find a note and that starts a quest. Like you said, everything was around kind of getting you engaged and trying to take you, you know, to whichever kind of path you were trying to get. Like Morrowind was the same, Oblivion, Skyrim, they're all kind of follow that ethos. But yeah, with Starfield, it just felt fake. Everything just felt fake to me. I can't explain it. It just didn't seem kind of right.
I don't know. Hopefully, maybe a few updates or maybe an expansion. Maybe they can put a few things right. But we'll see.
Maybe if they remake it. Maybe if they remake the game and the entire game engine from the ground up and make it good.
Yeah, well, they'll have Starfield Special Edition, you know, in a year or two, and then Starfield Alexa Edition.
Oh God, no. Dan, you've been getting into what was a Foxhole?
Yeah, that's actually pretty good. But like, to see that's immersive, because like there's no like hand holding, there's no tutorial. Like, you just get in and it's a constant war. But like, you know, and it's proper. Like, you know,
it's player driven.
It's player driven, and it's really good. I like that. You know, I like that. Same thing with EVE Online. It takes a bit of time to get into it, but it's actually like completely player driven. Everything's player driven. It's amazing, and I think that single player games need to do the same. It needs to be kind of like you drive.
It needs to be player driven.
If it's single player, you need hooks to bring you on the journey. Like, so it's different in an emergent thing like EVE Online or something, because the players are the hooks in that design. Whereas, like you said,
so what you're saying, Conor,
the players are the hookers.
Yeah.
So what you're saying, Conor, is just single player EVE Online. I get you.
You log off one day, you know, you've leveled up to level 80 or something, and you're single player, and you're like, oh, brilliant, I've mastered the universe of loads of money. You log back on, you know, you're in hostile territory, everyone's blown up all your spaceships, and it'd be brilliant. Emerging gameplay.
Like, I think the magic is gone, personally, in a lot of games. I think it's just kind of like, you know, money.
Mr. Ebenezer Scrooge.
Well, you kind of mentioned it. I think that's why Baldur's Gate is getting a lot of love. because it
Hmm.
it has that magic factor.
The same thing with Diablo and Diablo 1 and 2. It's just when you played the game, it was just like really fun. Like
I thought you were going to say 4 for a second. I was like, yeah.
No, Diablo 1 and 2, 3 and 4, no, not really.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, it's like you go back to Morrowind, like you said, it has that magic factor. You know, Half-Life 2, magic factor. I'm trying to come up with more recent. Like,
man,
The Witcher 3 has a magic factor. It has something where you always feel like, oh, I want to keep, something's popped up here. I found something. There's something to keep you going.
Yeah, I'd like to kind of talk about that. Like that goes to show that you can just because you're making new games every so often, you can always try something new and get that magic factor in. I played The Witcher 1 and I just could not get into it. But when I saw like a gameplay video, I haven't gotten it to botchery yet. But when I watched the video, I was like, actually, that looks fun. I think I'd actually like to play that. So it's like it's a lesson to all you game devs out here who listen to this podcast. But yeah, when you try something new every so often, like if you're wondering why your franchise is dying, maybe try something new.
Well, my thing is, I'm just thinking about like getting Simon Cowell's number, making a magic factor, like X Factor, magic factor. Like, think about it. People go on stage and goes, "Here's my game idea," and they just open up Unity and.
it's not compiling. Just give me 5 hours. Just sitting down and probably just sitting there like.
It's kind of like the same thing. Like it's like, oh, there's a node package update and fuck my project up. Oh, good. Oh, give me a few hours to fix this up. Yeah. My Reactor's not working. Oh, good. Good.
My npm audit found is a fatal flaw. I gotta fix it.
So yeah.
Yeah. Well, on that rapidly divergent change of topics. We'll be right back.
Man, that hurts me so much, Conor.
What do you want me to say?
And on that, whatever else afterwards, yes, just say like, okay, then that was a good.
All right, okay, I'll be a little bit less polite. Shut up, and we're moving to the next topic. I used to really enjoy going to the cinema, okay? It was something I like to do. Okay. And recently, and when I say recently, I mean like over the last 6 months, a year, whatever it is, I find myself sometimes, occasionally, I'll look up the cinema list and I'll go, wonder if there's anything on I would like to watch. And just nothing grabs me anymore. And I don't know what it is. And then I think back to, I'd nearly prefer to go back and watch something like The Good, the Bad, or the Ugly, or near like an oldie but goldie kind of film, because a lot of I just find just nothing just seems to grab me anymore. I don't know.
I go down. I think I know what you're going to say.
No. Did anyone just picture Conor going to the shop and getting a newspaper and open up the newspaper and looking for like the cinema listing, like he's in the fucking 60s, 70s?
I was thinking of something more rude, saying no one grabs me anymore. It's like trouble in paradise, Conor. No,
I never went to the Christian Brothers.
Oh, Conor, come on, you got to cut that. No, not really. No, I know. Yeah, no. Yeah, I used to up until recently. Actually, the local paper stopped doing that. The Cinema Times, the local one. No shitting. Yeah. I used to enjoy looking at them because, it used to be a novelty, I used to miss them, man.
Yeah, and then you got the internet there last year, and you were like, wow, mind blowing.
Mod, eh? No, for those who don't get that reference, that was from the Simpsons episode where Homer, sets up an internet company. But anyway, yes, I did the same thing. I'm always looking, but I'm kind of like, anything to kind of like 2 hours of peace and just tranquility. The worst movie ever. It just sounds so peaceful and that, like, you know what I mean? I could literally.
So you're like 10% on Rotten Tomatoes. Brilliant. I'll take it. Mm-hmm. I'm going out.
Is there not a novelty seeing some really shit? Like we talked about before about the Sci-Fi Channel, sci-fi movies, like really dog awful movies.
No, I think you're right. I think it's that thing. Is it so bad that it's a car crash that makes it interesting, or so? I think the worst place for film, to be honest, is in the middle mediocrity, because it's just not where you're kind of they're nearly the worst films. Where sometimes if it's so bad, sometimes it can be hilarious. Like I remember watching Leprechaun in the Hood, for example, which some ways it's a terrible film, but it's kind of hilarious as well. I think you have a few examples as well, Darren, do you?
Yeah, well, I was just about to say, I think those kind of things, what they really do. They're more enjoyable with like other people. So having cinemas play really shitty, like this way some cinemas show like really shitty movies. I'd actually be more go out of my way to see that. Like a Leprechaun in the Hood, like in the cinema with everyone else laughing, giggling, having fun, rather than kind of, going to see the latest fucking Marvel movie 600,
What about repeats? Like Conor said about the classic movies. Like, for example, my wife and her friend are going to see Love Actually because they're bringing it back out in the cinema before Christmas. Like, so and stuff like that. Would you go see that? Like,
I would, and do you know what? There are some cinemas in Dublin. Again, they're more the independent ones. They do repeat nights, and like there'll be some nights where they do a showing of Arnold Schwarzenegger Commando, for example. And there'll be like loads of people in the cinema going, "Get to the chopper." And there's a bit of crack to it, But,
yeah. Because everyone knows what it's about, so you can sit there and enjoy it, have a bit of a chat where nobody's like, shut the fuck up. I have a phenomenon I've noticed lately, and I want to ask, do you know if you do? These animated movies that are just really cheaply made coming to the cinema. Have any of you seen any of these? Because we saw my kids and wife. We went to see Paw Patrol, and there's so many animated movies that are literally like B-tier like movies. The animation is just horrible, but 3D animation. Like one of them is called A Mystery on the Cattle Hill Express, and it's basically a murder on the Orient Express, but it's with like a rabbit detective, and it looks really, really badly done. Like there's a lot of them. Like there's like 4.
It's going to be in the cinema.
Yeah. It's like How to Save an Immortal. There's another one called like the Canterville Ghost. Like I'm surprised you haven't. I suppose you don't go to cinema as much, but like we go once every month or two just for the kids, and it's just these movies are always coming out. Like every time we go, there's always these movies out that are just B tier.
What I have seen though is like the more smaller kind of theater groups actually play like more like obscure Asian anime movie from like 2004 that nobody's ever heard of, or something like that. I've noticed kind of something like that, not like
I think that's
shitty,
good. I like
shitty
that.
kids movie.
Yeah, well, I think that's how you get more people in cinema. Like my local one now, they're always doing the the plays like the Nutcracker and like Cliff. Every time there's a concert,
the online concerts.
Yeah, but
and
the plays as well. Like they do like plays like the Royal Ballet and the Royal Opera and stuff.
Yeah,
but
they do that.
They do every fucking time. Every time I go to cinema, no matter what time of the year, there's always that Andre Rieu guy who's like with a violin. You know that guy who plays the violin? He's like famous. Like
he's always like Dutch or something, is he, or Danish? Or,
every time I go see a movie, he's like, "Oh, this is coming up." It's like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like, oh, come watch that. And it's like, how many people actually go to it? Maybe a lot of people. I don't know. We're gonna get all the angry buying list berating us now.
He's always there. Go away. Leave me alone, man. Stop coming up on my movies.
Times just watching TV at home, and he pops up and he's like, "You son of a bitch."
But I like that. I think that's a way of opening the doors to like more people coming in. Like, because there's a lot of people that would go, even though they've seen a movie 100 times at home, they go to the cinema to see like Jaws. Like you've seen it a million times, but if Jaws was in the cinema, you might go, "Well, sure." If I had time, which I don't, but
Well, I went to see the cinema. Like sometimes, two times I went to cinema that I absolutely loved was when it was like not actual movies. So one was like the Doctor Who 50th anniversary thing, and a lot, it was just a long extended TV episode. Everyone would see that. Those kind of things are good. And the second thing was when I saw like Monty Python on stage and they did like live stream. I think those kind of things are stuff that I would probably be more inclined to go. Like a bit of theatre, a bit of class.
But the Doctor Who thing was like the fucking like the Avengers of kind of fucking like the three of them coming together type thing. So people were really hyped for that. That did really well, like in the cinema, really fucking well.
It did. Yeah, it did. And it was in 3D.
I remember the worst 3D movie I've ever seen was Clash of the Titans.
Oh really?
Oh yeah, but that came out around the time where they were just trying to put 3D. 3D was the latest. I remember even was it PlayStation released some sunglasses or something that were supposedly 3D.
That was it was.
And their TV that they had.
They did actually release, the 3D thing was crap, but PlayStation did do one thing on the PlayStation 3 with the glasses that allowed you to show two screens at once, and then based on the polarization and stuff, you put the glasses on and see, like, you couldn't see each other. That was interesting technology, I thought.
Yeah, and NVIDIA jumped on the bandwagon.
then and people were just looking at the TV going, "Why is this? Why is the TV scrambled? What is all this
Everyone else,
shit?"
everyone else in the room was like, "Oh my god, my eyes! I'm feeling dizzy. Stop it!" You know. I couldn't do it. But
Yeah,
I think that's a good idea with the movies. I think there needs like I used to like now, obviously pre kids, but going to this midnight viewings of like the premieres. Like now, I have to admit, the last three fucking because the wife loved it. Twilight movies that came out, we saw at midnight. You know, because on release, and they
Yeah,
showed
I
it.
think we discussed the last one where it was like, oh yeah, they're finally doing something. Then it was all a dream or something. You were saying, yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, you can't imagine not only was it disappointing, I didn't like the movies. When that battle scene came up, I was like, oh fuck, this is it was a decent enough fight scene. I was engaged. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning. I was like, holy shit. And it was like, it was all a dream. And you're like, oh,
Hey, did you guys hear something that do you know the Napoleon movie that what's his face released recently?
Jacques Phoenix or something.
that fella, yeah.
Joker.
Yeah, yeah, the Joker guy. No, I mean the director as well. Name, but basically they had to bring back intermission, and I'm like, do you remember intermission?
I
I
think that's a
do,
good idea.
yeah.
I think that's a
I
fantastic
remember
idea.
going to see the Fellowship of the Ring, and they had an intermission in the middle.
Yeah,
And
you
yeah,
did-
those were the days. You went and got your popcorn, you had your little break, everyone got refreshed, and you sat down, you got back.
But you get these snobby fucks. It's like, oh well, if it took us a year to make it, you can just spend 3 hours. It's like, no, go fuck yourself. You know what? Go
No,
fuck yourself.
I have a digestive system that works,
Yeah.
and
No,
my 20-ounce fucking diet coke that I
Well,
chugged down before the movies even started is
Well,
not
it
going to
suits
go down
everyone.
well.
Like even
Well,
kids movie, like my daughter, like like they go to the bathroom, like you know the way they sometimes like they might go beforehand and they might go have a chew after drinking, but it suits them. And then not only that, people go out and buy more food. So I think it
Yeah,
suits
yeah.
everybody. And it's only
No,
people
it
that do
does.
it's the arty farty fucking Martin Scorsese. What's his name? Martin.
Well, I think
Scorsese.
it's probably beyond that nowadays. Like, is that the problem? It's not become as much entertainment anymore. It's all become self-indulgent for whoever. You know, they've forgotten who the people. They don't know who their target audiences are anymore. They don't know why they nearly don't know why they're making the film. It's nearly like
Money.
it's all about this is my vision. I am. Yeah, money, I guess. Yeah, but you know what I mean. It's all about the vision, and it's not like, well, actually, who's the film actually for?
Yeah, no, there's no art.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't think.
I think sometimes artist integrity is good. Like, I think if you have an idea and a vision, you go with that regardless of the thing. If people don't like it, that's fine. At least you adhere to your vision. I believe that 100%. Don't pander to anybody. Just if you have an idea for a movie, you make it the way you want it. People don't like it. Hey ho, at least that's your movie to make. You know, it's bad. It could be awful, could be incorrect, but that's your artistic integrity. You know what I mean? You know.
I don't think I could do a 3-hour movie anymore.
No.
I think I'd just leave after like an hour and a half. And I guess that's my like it,
That's
I think
your ADHD kicking in. Yeah.
well it could be, but also like it's like I think I was discussing with you, Daniel, like ages ago, where it took me like 5 days or something to watch a 2-hour movie. It's just like it's not even. It's just that like I have shit to do. Like get to the fucking point. You know, like, don't give. And I hate movies that have false endings where it's like you know the way they do something and you feel like it's closing and then it goes on for another 30 minutes and you're like, no. And I'm not talking like I get Lord of the Rings did it like a million times. I'm just talking about movies that last like 2 hours and after an hour and a half, everything kind of seems closed up. But then it's like, oh, but let's look at the characters 6 months down the line and see how they've coping with it. I'm like, no, fuck, just fucking get to the point. Get to the fucking point. I have laundry to put on, please.
Darren just wants a TikTok of movies. That's what he wants.
Yeah, this is coming from the fella who wants his closure.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's why I'm waiting for fucking 2 hours to see if like how the characters get on. But I got my laundry. I got my slow cooker to put on. I got a life to live.
There you go. Go out and live your life, and yeah, don't go cinema. I guess is that the message we're putting out? So I'd like to present the closing arguments for this podcast, both for and against. For going to see modern movies, 0.
Nope, no more movies.
Against, just find cinemas that are showing old movies. That's the message from this podcast.
Basically, we're against games and movies. How about that? There we go. We don't want any more games. Games suck. Movies suck. There you go. Close an argument.
Just play all the old games. Watch all the old movies. Problem solved. Yeah.
Oh, we're turning into fucking boomers, aren't we?
Yeah, we're those people
We're
now.
just
Yeah.
we're those people now. Yeah, we're like back in my day, games had stories. Back in my day, movies made sense, and we're only 90 minutes.
And we used to tie an onion to it, brother, and that was the style at the time.
So, any movies, games you're looking forward to for the week, lads?
Foxhole. I'm enjoying Foxhole.
Nice. Does it run? You got a Steam Deck actually for that, did you?
Yeah, I actually have. I have it installed on my gaming PC. I have it installed on my Linux laptop, and I have it installed on my Steam Deck. So yeah,
must be good. Yeah, if you would like installs games and drops them every 5 minutes, you're actually playing this.
Yeah, I'm actually playing it. Yeah, when I have time now. When I have time is the key word here.
Would you recommend it?
Yep.
What is it?
It's basically a MMO World War II game. There's a single war against two factions. World War I, World War II, sorry. And basically, is it's player driven. Wars can last months and weeks, but when the war is won by one side, then it just resets, and you basically you can build trenches. Everything's built by the player. Logistics is done by the player. You need fuel for your thing. You need to build trenches. You need to make concrete. You have medics, and you have to make your own tanks and stuff from factories. So it's really good.
It's going to open up his spreadsheet later today and be like, "Oh, this is a good battle." It's like just looking at his Excel spreadsheet.
Yeah, it's a good game. I encourage everyone to just look it up.
Okay, give it a go. How about you, Darren?
Yeah, I've been playing Foxhole, but also Shenmue 3 was on sale for like just a couple of yo-yos. So I got that. So I'm going to play that on my Steam Deck because I played the first two and I loved it. And I heard the third one's kind of okay. But I get to have my closure. I always talk about my closure, and I get to have closure. I did finish Final Fantasy VII Remake. Thought it was great. I loved it. Can't wait for Rebirth. I could not play the DLC. I fucking hate Yuffie. I don't know why. I just hate Yuffie as a character. So I'm just not going to play the DLC.
Certain games always have those characters though, where you're just like, I hate this character.
Exactly. I just fucking hate her. Can't stand her.
Just sound like everyone else to me. I just can't get off the Baldur's Gate train. So yeah, I'm not going to go on about that.
Yeah,
I'll get it when it's worth 3 yo-yos.
Yeah, well, you might be waiting a while now.
What anime are you watching?
I'm currently watching Spy X Family, which is kind of.
You mentioned that. Yeah, you talked about that before. Yeah.
I talked about that in our previously recorded podcast that I accidentally deleted and therefore hasn't been aired.
They're making a movie of that, aren't they?
Yes, they're making us. I guess that's what they do with all successful animes now, isn't it? When they start doing well, they get a little movie spin off. But no, it's good. It's interesting. It's kind of the plot's about a spy and he's operating in foreign country. I feel like it's meant to be like 1970s Germany or something, but not. They never name it that. It's like it's its own fictionalized state and all that, but it's quite clearly based on kind of a Cold War period, or whatever. Yeah, shenanigans.
Shenanigans.
Absolute shenanigans.
And on the shenanigans that were this podcast.
Oh, come on, Conor.
Would you like to tell us anything that's coming up on the next one, Darren?
Oh my god. I don't know. Better fucking transition segues.
I'm just going to use sound effects from now on. I'm just going to keep talking and there'll be random cuss of sound effects and then there'll be, did you know? And then random facts, that's what it's all about these days. Fast edits and random facts.
I think, it'll be TikTok-y or no, I want to do like Starship Troopers where at the end of it, it's like, would you like to know more? And then it just transitions to the next segment. It's like, just keep doing that. Like, seriously. I don't think that would ever get old.
Thank you for listening. See you next time, folks.
What?
I don't know what's going on anymore.
But we lost our own focus and concentration during the outro, so we forgot again.
Thanks, Daniel's friend who listens to this podcast, and thanks to one Belgium guy who I think just has it on like autoplay. Probably.
Should I stop the recording?
Yeah, you probably should.